Greetings and welcome to this segment of CDP. All business people would love to be able to take advantage of the opportunities that are presented before them. And as we seek to grow our businesses, we want to be sure that we're not threatened by things we have not prepared for. A tool that has been used extensively for many years by business people in startups and in long existing organizations is called SWOT analysis. Briefly, it addresses the internal factors, which are the strengths and weaknesses that the organization already has, and the external factors, which are opportunities and threats. I'd like for you to be able to contemplate as you work through this process. Begin the process looking externally. What opportunities have been presented as you work in your sector, in your industry, by the challenges of COVID-19? What threats are there that are likely to interfere with the success of your business if not taken care of? Having thought about that, you then will be able to look inside and say, do our strengths match up to the opportunities that are available? And are there some areas we need to be improving on? Otherwise, these opportunities will pass us by. It is crucial to be able to conduct this analysis of your own business against what's happening externally. We will go into a little bit more detail as we go through this process because it is vital for setting us up for determining an appropriate business model we are going to use to advance our business to the future. In the previous segment, I drew your attention to the importance and the value of excellence. Indeed, I said excellence is a habit. We do this not only because Aristotle spoke to it, but because it is the thing that we need for ourselves in our own lives. We're seeing more of this as we address ourselves and listen to the stories in the development of the vaccine to address COVID-19. With your compass clearly positioned to north and excellence being where you are focused, it is possible for you to get your whole organization to rally around delivering excellent service, products, and solutions. When you do that, you will be able to distinguish yourself in the marketplace. At the start of this century, Jim Collins released the book Good to Great. It was seminal. It addressed itself to key factors that distinguish organizations that are good from those that are great. He drew some insights from Aristotle, who during the times of enlightenment spoke to the fact that good stood in the way of excellent. In there, he then introduces the concept of the hedgehog. And during these times of disruption, it becomes all the more important for us to be able to consider these three key elements. Key quality number one is to simplify complexity. The business world is becoming all the more complex. When you can come up with a silver bullet of simplicity, you are guaranteed business into the future. Second is to confront the brutal facts. What we have gotten in the last year as a result of COVID-19 is our ability to appreciate whether or not our business is actually essential to the economy. Luxury businesses have not been able to survive that much further. Your challenge is to be able to confront the brutal facts around your own business. The exercise that you engaged in the previous segment are following, as it were, the 4-action framework, where you began to look into things that you need to eliminate, reduce, and what you need to raise and create. That helps you in confronting your brutal facts. Finally, you want to exercise sound business judgment. You want your enterprise to continue because you have brought in wisdom, as it were. Omar Khan, the founder of Software as a Service, the SaaS Club, helps us to be able to simplify our business in order to be able to ensure that it is built on solid pillars that will distinguish it into the future. He says your enterprise stands a better chance of being considered a great business when it has these simplicity pillars. You build a product or you provide a service that people really want and are willing to pay for first. Second, you create a strong growth marketing machine that will help you to acquire customers. And thirdly, he says you learn strategies, insights, and mistakes from other successful people and companies out there. You do not need to invent everything yourself. You may also want to be able to answer the question, what could kill your future success? Without doubt, if you conduct business as usual when the environment is unusual, you are bound to find your business becoming irrelevant. A good many of you indicated that you want to grow your enterprise. If you are to be able to do that, you may want to be able to look into your hand and identify these 5 key factors as going to help you in determining the potential of successfully navigating the storm, even in the light of COVID-19 and what will come hereafter. Ask the first question: what is trending in the marketplace? When we have our discussion later on the business model, there will be at least 9 new business models that have been brought through because there is a realization that the business model we've heard aren't yielding the results that they should. You also want to be able to ask, secondly, what opportunities have arisen in the marketplace that you can exploit? Thirdly, you want to ask yourself, how are you positioned in the marketplace so that people get to be able to contemplate and consider you when those opportunities arise? Fourthly, you need to be able to understand that you are perfectly aligned for the results you are currently getting. Therefore, consider, are you aligning your business to where you want to take it to? Or is it going to become well prepared for the world that no longer exists? Finally, you may want to be able to start looking into what are the key competencies, core competencies of your organization and capabilities that you need to hire into your company so as to be able to be truly a trendsetter and a successful business person who may very well be an industry standard bearer. As you grow your business, it is important to be able to check how the environment is really shaping up. Every strategy conversation has what has often been referred to as a pastel analysis. While that has been good, I have found it necessary to be contemporary and address 2 additional factors that do not appear in pastel. And I have reframed this in a manner that I'm presenting through to you called Stipple HD. The starting point has got to be what's happening in the social space. It is vital to be able to think about the social elements because the change in lifestyles have a bearing on how your business is going to fare in industry and it will fare amongst your competitors. If we don't pay attention to how people are shifting what it is that they buy and warm up towards, we will find ourselves with products and services that aren't going to be purchased and therefore that will create problems for us. We might find ourselves going belly up in terms of our businesses. The technological aspect has become almost vital. Even this process of learning is happening with the aid of technology. One of the key questions, therefore, that we need to be able to ask is what's happening in terms of information, communication, and technology? What is the access like? The people that work in your organization, do they have access to ICT itself? Do they have the tools to be able to get the work done? What platforms are they using in order to remain connected to you and do business well, but also connected to the customer base? How are you maintaining relationships with the use of technology? The economy, it becomes a crucial factor to be able to pay attention to. We look at what's happening in the global space, but it's also important to look at opportunities that have come through with the Africa Free Trade platform that has been made available for us. So continental markets are becoming all the more open for us. And we know that as a country, we have been counting ourselves as the gateway to the continent. If that be the case, we need to be able to make our business relevant to the needs of the continent. At a political level, you would fully appreciate that there are a lot of things that have to do with service delivery or lack thereof that local government, provincial government, and national government are battling with. It's going to be a year of elections, and therefore how organizations are gearing themselves up, political organizations that is, will play a big part in terms of how you do your business and how your organization becomes relevant. Because the state of the nation, the state of the province, the state of the city has a bearing on what you do. But obviously what has become all the more critical is how each of the key levels of government have been responding to COVID-19. At the same time, the question is how business has been supportive of the efforts of the state around COVID-19. In the legal space, it is important to be able to appreciate legislation specifically relevant to your sector and to your industry, as well as the amendments that are being brought through to those legislations so as to facilitate, among others, transformation. You are in this program in part because ESD and CDP are processes that have been put in place to bring about transformation in your own sector. Ecological factors become vital because all the more there is a yearning to be able to see a growth in clean energy. There is a push for renewable energy as a way of looking after the planet and the environment within which we live. Therefore, it is crucial to be able to check how your business contributes to the reputation of the enterprise that you work with and how it contributes to the sector within which you operate. Corporate social responsibility becomes all the more important because you're a responsible corporate citizen. The additional area that I've brought through to what is traditionally referred to as PASTEL is health. It is becoming all the more important that every day when we engage with our colleagues, we check in. We check on the well-being of our staff members. We check on the well-being of their family members because much of the work we do is being done from home. We have percentages varying where we have 30% working from home, 70% working in the office, or 50-50, or whatever the ratios are as per the proclamations that come through with lockdown requirements. It becomes all the more important for us to ensure that we are monitoring the employee well-being, also monitoring mental health. The final area for us to be able to look into is demographic. Now, often this gets to be melded up with social aspect, but I want you to be able to look into the changing workforce profile that you have. Most likely, most of the people that you have inside your organization will be part of what's referred to as Generation Y or the millennials. But you also are finding that you've got interns who are coming into your organization who are part of what's referred to as Gen Z. When you look into the demands and the expectations of Y generation or millennials and Z generation, you will immediately realize that there is a strong propensity to want to work with technology. Is your business purely geared around that? But you also will come to appreciate that the whole story around work-life balance is referred to and seen in a different manner. How is your business set up for that? You are building your business with the intention of growing it and grow it to a point where you are ready. If at some point somebody made an offer for your business, you could be able to sell it because it has been well prepared and it renders a service that others find as extremely crucial. And therefore, they will be prepared to pay top dollar or top rand for it. We will soon be looking into the SWOT analysis. I'd like for you to be able to contemplate these words. Your strength will not come from what you can do. It will come from overcoming the things you once thought you could not. Remember, there was a time when BBBE was not the thing that was done. You have overcome many challenges to become the entrepreneur that is now on a preferential basis with Exxaro. Your strength comes from you overcoming the various things that were laid in front of you before you were selected to be a part of this program and of Exxaro supply chain. So this section is really about us conducting a SWOT analysis. It's part of confronting our brutal facts. I'd like for you to be able to look into this and start from the outside in. Mostly when you look into SWOT, it is inside out. But I'd like for you to be able to begin from the outside in. Look into what are the opportunities that have arisen, not only out of the ESD process, but in the industry, in South Africa, in the globe. What are the opportunities that are there? What are the threats that are there facing your enterprise? If we can spend some time working on those, you are bound to be able to come up with outcomes that that will strengthen your position in the marketplace. Then, looking inside, you start looking into what are the strengths you've been building over the years that, when activated, enable you to become a force to be reckoned with. And finally, start looking into what are the shortcomings, what are the weaknesses. Every armory has got a chink. Where is your chink in your armory? Is there a weakness? Because the strength of every chain is in its weak point. If you can identify the key weaknesses, you will be able to start developing an action plan to turn your weaknesses into strengths, so as to be able to take advantage of the opportunities that are arising and minimize the impact of the threats in your marketplace. COVID-19 has brought various storms into our lives. What we are needing to be able to appreciate and learn from mountaineer Sarai Khumalo, who became the first African woman to conquer Mount Everest, is that not all the storms that come our way are there to disrupt our lives. Some of them come to clear our path. And as we look into the business that we're involved in, that you are involved in, you may very well find that this period of the pandemic is helping you to refine what you should be paying attention to. So you could actually look at what is coming through with the current operating environment and see it as an opportunity for refinement than it is about destroying the progress that you are on with your business. As we confront the brutal facts relating to your business, I'd like for us to be able to borrow from Classy the SWOT analysis tool that has been developed for us. And I would like for you to engage with this, because in each of the quadrants, there are 3 key questions that you will want to be able to answer. Starting from outside in, the external elements, opportunities. What fundraising trails do you have to blaze? Which is, you have to be thinking about how you're going to finance your enterprise. Second, you may want to be able to answer, is your organization dedicated to fostering innovation and growth? Yes or no? But you may want to go into a little bit more detail around that. Again, on opportunities, what organizations might strengthen your value proposition through partnerships? You don't necessarily have to go it alone. You can partner with others. And then flip over to the threats. In the threats area, you may want to be able to first answer the questions, what factors put your organization at risk? Because if they're not paid attention to, you may very well find that you are part of the statistic that says 9 out of every 10 businesses fold within the first 5 years of existence. Second question you want to be able to look into, what are the political and environmental issues that surround your cause, what you're about? Are you just backed up because of the BBBE situation, or is there something more? And then you need to be able to answer, do you face any managerial challenges such as high turnover in your day-to-day operations? Just by answering that question, you may very well find that you are able to weather the storms much better. Now, look internally, starting with your weaknesses, because I want to finish strong. From your weaknesses, what areas have you not committed time to up until now? And then, where did you fall short at last year? Capture that. Be frank and honest in your writing. And then, what aspects of your strategies did not have positive return on investment during 2020? Capture those. And then, let's finish strong. As strengths, what is your organization's amazing at? What are you amazing at? Second, what differentiates you from other companies out there that are for profit, serving the same cause that you're involved in? Ignore the fact that it says non-profit. And then finally, do you have a novel approach in doing business? Now, this takes you back to the 4-action framework we had in the Blue Ocean Strategy. The last one was about create. So, do you have a novel approach to conducting business? Early in the 20th century, Albert Einstein said, "I fear the day that technology will surpass our human interaction. The world will have a generation of idiots." I know for a fact that the last year has gotten us into a point where technology has been ruling us. Instead of being a servant, it has been a master. It is for you to be able to turn these things around. Harness the power of technology. Build relationships with your staff, and then build a strong relationship with your customer. Exxaro will be with you into the future. I am confident this will be your story, and 2021 may very well be your best year yet.